council meeting. It's Tuesday, February 10th. It's 7:30 in the evening. It's not raining. Thank God. Glad to see everybody here this evening. Let the record show the council's here, except for Councilor Hoffman, who let me know in advance that he was not able to join us today. We have some folks here to speak, so we're going to move promptly to that after we approve the minutes for January 13 and 27. Do they meet with your approval? I heard that nod. Is that not a motion? There you go. Second. I have a motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Under visitor and public comment this evening, I'd like to ask for the representatives of the Friends and Neighbors for a Safe and Prosperous Community. We're going to talk about the Polk County Public Safety Levy. Folks, whoever is going to be the speaker, please step to the podium and let us, and we're friendly. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for letting us come. I'm Lynette Henshaw, 2424 Southwest Oakwood Drive, Dallas, Oregon. And I'm the treasurer of the PAC. It's a long name, but it truly is Friends and Neighbors that got together and said, we want to help this PAC. We're speaking of the safety levy. I can't say it.
You're okay.
And we tried once before, and we're trying a little harder this time. And we'd like to say that there's a misconception that cities with their own police forces may not need county-wide services provided by the sheriff's office, such as backup for city police, serving civil complaints, providing search and rescue, providing jail space and confinement for all those arrested by city police, the DA's office, which prosecutes city crimes, and without whom criminals would be released back onto the street. Community Corrections Department supervises post-conviction parole and probation, as well as juvenile crimes. All of these services help keep streets and neighborhoods safer. So we ask for your support for this Polk County safety levy. Thank you very much.
Great. I think there are going to be some other speakers, and so what I'm going to have all the speakers come forward and say what they'd like to say. Then if we have collective questions, then we can do it at that time. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Henshaw. Good evening and welcome to council.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members. My name is Gene Henshaw. I reside at 2424 Southwest Oakwood Drive, Dallas, Oregon. I am a member of the Friends and Neighbors for a Safe and Prosperous Community. Our dedication is to getting the safety levy passed to make all of Polk County and all the citizens of Polk County a safer place. There's a lot of issues, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware of them, and we've got some colleagues here that are going to go over those issues probably, and so I won't bore you with those same issues. I just wanted to come and let you know that there's some faces behind this. It's not just a fundraising campaign. It's not just a fundraising political committee. There are faces and individuals behind it, and it's a grassroots movement. We're not after big money. We're after everybody who wants to see this happen to support us, and we're getting a lot of support along those lines. I think the City of Independence has a great police force and a great presence, and we want to support that as well. So thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Next person that I have scheduled to speak on here is Brian McGlynn.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening and welcome.
I'm sure it's helpful. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. I appreciate you taking time to talk to you about my support for the public safety levy for Polk County. I'm Brian McGlynn. I live at 633 Spearman Street, Independence, and I'm a proud resident of the City of Independence. I'm also very fortunate to have a police department that can serve my needs for my safety 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if I didn't live in Independence, or perhaps Dallas or Monmouth, I wouldn't have that opportunity. If I lived in unincorporated areas of the county, I might very well not have the possibility to have law enforcement take care of my needs 24 hours a day. So I urge you to look at the article we saw in the IO in this advisory paper last week. Investigate truth about 10 points on the reason why the public safety levy should be approved. And I urge the city council, Lynette's already come up with information about that, and I won't reiterate that because you guys already know those talking points. But I urge you to come out in favor, publicly in favor, both you, Mr. Mayor, and city council members, in favor of the public safety levy. I know it's tough asking folks to pay more taxes, and Sheriff Bull came out with that very explicitly last time we talked about it. But it's a situation where we no longer have some of the timber funds from the federal government. So now we need to be able to face reality as far as the need for public safety, not only for the sheriff's department, but also the district attorney, probation, and juvenile probation as well. So all these things are needs that we need to have. I think very basic needs which are public safety as far as our county goes, and the city as well. So I thank you for your time and appreciate you backing this letter.
Thank you, appreciate it. Mr. Easterling. Good evening and welcome to City Council.
Thank you, Mayor Ricardo. To each of you, I am E.M. Easterly, live in a little community called West Salem. My address is 775 Fir Gardens Northwest. I'm here this evening because I want to think about something beyond police officers. We live in a community that when we dial the number 911, we're expecting something. It's called service. If we have a fire, we want a fireman there and his equipment. If we need a police officer, fortunately, if we live in this community or the community I live in, Salem, they'll be there. However, as prior speakers have said, if you live outside those areas, it's important that you have this call between right now 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Too bad for those folks who happen to be in an accident, who need a fire, with a fire in an automobile, and you need someone at a time other than that to go out to the road. And one of the things that's missing right now in Polk County in terms of road safety are police officers there to help supervise when there's a problem with where you need fire folks. That wasn't even thought about when the county went out for a levy 16 months ago. We need this, and I'd like to challenge you the way I challenged the county commissioners. I said I would meet whatever they contributed personally to the highest number that they will put into this pack to get this pie across. It's very important. I can say I don't need police service, but I do need the DA service. I do need the jail. I do need the supervision of the criminals. I went through and looked at the package that was submitted by Mayor Peterson to her council last night. That council supported this levy by a 9+ out of 9 support of the levy. I'm asking you tonight to think very carefully. I don't know your procedures. You might have to wait a couple of weeks in terms of putting it on the agenda. But I truly am asking you, each of you, and even the Councilman Hoffman, who's not here tonight, to come out and say, yes, this is important. That's the first thing I'm doing. The second thing I'm doing, I'd like to challenge you. Of the 7 of you, 6 own property. I will commit to paying the equivalent of my taxes at 45% if every one of you will pay up to that amount for your own residence. I calculated it out. Some of you would end up putting in less than $35. Others of you might put in a little over $100. But it's a challenge. This is important, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want the cruelest tax of all. That's the tax when we don't have a public safety system. I went to most of the meetings and the hearings before the county commissioners. I heard 3 separate stories of individuals who were in trouble because they couldn't get the kind of public safety they need. I'm not going to retell their stories, I'm just going to say it's out there. And we, in terms of a community called Polk County, need to have a public safety system that deals with that. I thank you, I'll be quiet.
Council members, we have a couple different ways we can move forward. If you have questions of the speakers today, we can do that. You also have all received letters from the county commissioners that I think were at your stations today that said that they're willing to come at a future date if we want to visit with them. And so how would you like to proceed at this point? Do we have any questions for the speakers today? Does anybody have any questions for the presenters at this point?
Can we proceed with
We can do anything we'd like.
letting them know that we support them? I mean, I know I've read quite a bit about it and have talked to people about it. I haven't been to those meetings that you talked to, but I feel informed enough. And I can make a decision tonight unless there's a different process that the rest of the room wants to use.
Other thoughts? Go ahead.
I just had one question about whether we, of course, proclaim it or not. If it would be more appropriate to do it a little closer to the election, whereas, might be a little more than the paper saying, we approve of it in February and then it's forgotten in May. And it might be better to do it a little later.
Mike?
And
If you,
Well,
go ahead.
In response to that, we could make a note to write a letter to the editor or something like that, a little closer to the election.
I know it probably would be helpful in their publicity if like Salem,
Yeah.
I know some of the other cities are going to be considering that also. I understand your thought, we're just kind of having a conversation here. Forrest, I can see the wheels turning in your head.
Oh, no. You think that's the case?
But the letter is a request from the commissioners to come
Right.
and address the council. I don't know if we can get that onto the agenda, perhaps that
Would you guys like to do that?
I would,
Okay,
Get the commissioners here.
okay.
I would also, and to give enough notice that we could have people in the audience that might have questions for the commissioners.
Okay, all right, so that's what we'll do, is that I'm going, see, I have to think about how to do this. I'm looking to staff to help me out here. Since this is on the ballot, I can't ask staff to make a phone call to the commissioners, and that means one of us has to do that. Would that be correct? I think we can make phone
I
calls.
think we can make a phone call to the county commissioners.
And
Because
then invite them to our council meeting.
as long as I'm not being asked to do anything in for or against.
Yeah, all we want them to do is come.
I can ask them to come
Can you do a calendaring activity of
Yes.
scheduling them to come in to visit with us in reference to the letter they sent me?
Yes.
I think we have to make a motion to that effect.
I don't think we need a motion, I think it's clear here. Okay, that's fine, so we will do that. If you can keep, we put our agendas out in advance, and you're welcome to attend, as will the whole world to be attending, because I think we'd like to ask the commissioners some questions. I do want to put one thing out right here. There has been a number of, we mayors talk to each other on a regular basis when we work together, and you saw some communication that there was some honest disagreement on how best to proceed on this. There's some questions of timing and background and all those kind of things. With that said, the commissioners did make a decision, and so those issues of strategic discussions and timing discussions are no longer relevant. Commissioners have decided to put this forward at this point, and so I know I will be doing what I can to be helpful to move this forward. And my wife and I, we have rental property throughout the county, and so yes, I recognize the implication. So we'll put this on the agenda in the future. I want to thank you folks for coming. to be here this week. Yes, sir.
I would appreciate nothing more than to have the City of Independence endorse this measure. And when is the council meeting that the commissioners should come to?
I'm not sure which one they're scheduled. I think the first council meeting of the month is at 7:30 p.m. The second council meeting, which is on the fourth Tuesday of the month, is at 7:30 a.m. And so I'm sure within the next several weeks, I'm sure we're going to get this scheduled. And you can check with Karen our agenda online to see when it is, because we will put this on as an opportunity. So
Thank you.
thanks so much for taking the time to come in. Are there any other visitor comments that need to be made at this point? I'm going to keep this moving forward if, without objection. And you're not obligated to stay the whole meeting. If you were a Cub Scout group, we dismiss you to go home and do your homework. But thank you for taking the time to come in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for hearing this.
Thank you. Under reports, council members, we have traditionally had at the beginning of each two-year cycle, a council planning meeting. Some people call it a retreat, get together where we kind of talk, work with staff. It's a work session, no firm decisions are made at that time when we can talk about things. I'd like to talk a little bit about when that would be, when the best time would be for that. And historically, we've tended to do those either immediately after work or on Saturdays. Do people have a particular preference? You like Saturday morning? Anybody have a problem with Saturday morning generally, Tom? I know
I would just say Saturdays, although I don't know my schedule, so
Okay,
tentatively Saturday.
tentatively Saturday. Okay, should we pick a tentative date at this point? I'm asking.
Yes. Pick a date.
Okay. And I'm gonna look at staff also and say, because I know you're trying to do some preparation.
It shouldn't take us much, and I'm assuming we're not doing, are you wanting a facilitated?
I don't know if we need, I don't know if we would need one. If we do, we can, I think you and I can work that out.
Well, I think last time we didn't, and it seemed to work okay.
I think it works fine unless everybody,
We're good self-facilitated.
Yeah.
Can I suggest maybe picking 2 Saturdays, and then we can poll Jerry and Tom have time to look back and.
is that okay with people? All right. Do we want to do it February or March? Or the end of February?
Can we do it in March?
Very much.
I think I've heard several Marches. With
After
Marches?
the 15th?
Are you? Okay. Okay. How about, a couple of suggestions. I've heard the 20th, the 21st of March. Is that too far out? Is that okay with people?
I'm not sure I have traveled.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do then is, I'm gonna have Karen put together a doodle poll.
Yeah.
Can you do that? And let's see what we can try to come up with for what works.
Maybe the first 3 Saturdays in March.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. We can do that. Let me ask you a question. Would people be offended? Would people be willing to consider a Sunday late afternoon? Because if most of us are going to work the next day, that might be an option. Okay, like a late afternoon. Okay, we'll put that on the doodle poll and see what happens. And I'll work with staff to help facilitate that. Thank you very much, appreciate that. Klein, I think you have some reports and you're filling for some people tonight, so.
Do you want to ask for public comment from anybody else, or?
I did.
You did?
Is there any other public comment? No? Okay, thank you.
So unfortunately, Gloria will not be able to be with us this evening, so I'm going to also pick up her or items on the agenda. And let's start off with the manager's report. It's going to take me a few minutes. I've got quite a few things to cover, but I think you'll find most of it interesting. So first and foremost, we have received just lately, and we have about 10 copies of this, the National Civic Review. These are the folks that we ended up presenting for the All-American Cities presentation to. They have a couple of, one, the introductory comments from the editor highlight independence solely in the comments. And secondly, we have a very long article in here. We've got about 8 pages compared to most everybody else's 3. So it's a very nice write-up, very nice magazine. You can get copies, any of you that would like a copy, you feel, am I getting all yays on that? Okay, we'll get you all a copy of that, so Sean can get those to you. So, but it's a really nice piece, so it continues to get a lot of mileage, for that work, and rightfully so. So anyway, that's going on. You talked about the council retreat. The staff retreat was quite successful, so we will have a fair amount of information to share with you as part of your deliberations, and a couple of recommendations for follow-on action as well. Valley Concrete, which we are now euphemistically calling the South Riverview Park Development Site, the South Riverview Development Area. I think it was your suggestion that we move away from Valley Concrete, so we're going to try and change the, nothing terribly interesting, but at this point in time, we'll it's a placeholder, we don't for too long. So at this point, so we're going South Riverview Development. At any rate, we have met with a number of folks that have some expertise in this area, and we have some ideas on how to move that project forward. We're also going to be doing some geotesting here shortly, and we'll be budgeting some further work on site to make it more attractive for redevelopment. You probably have noticed that much of the equipment is now gone. We're not quite sure. We're still going to be talking to the owner, the prior ownership, as to what else is leaving, but at least the tall concrete masons, whatever silos are gone at this point. So they make quite the journey out of town. There's really quite a little bit of traffic linkage, but they got out of here. So at any rate, that's going on. Tomorrow evening, we've had a couple meetings. We've talked about this in the past. We've had a couple meetings with the Air Park. We'll be meeting again tomorrow evening to talk at least stormwater issues. That's the general focus of the issue. We have a fairly extensive agenda that the community public directors put together to cover the areas of interest. I'll be there as well, because I understand there may be some, we may want to back in some financial conversations, so I'll try to help field that. Gloria would have been there, but unfortunately couldn't make that one either, so I'll try to be helpful on that one. So that's moving along. You're going to get a highlight presentation from Kevin here shortly, but just to let you know, the Latino Roundtable will be focusing on some of the police conversations that have been going on nationally. This Friday is when that conversation takes place with that group, so that should be very interesting, and we should get a really good attendance at that, I imagine. If you haven't already heard this, mark your calendars for Thursday at noon. There'll be a walkthrough of the Cooper Building before they close it up with sheetrock, so it will be fairly interesting. So they kind of look at what the bones of the building look like. They've done a tremendous amount of work over there already, and there's quite, I believe they've pretty much pre-leased most of the top floor at this point, and have a lot of interest in the bottom floor. So that's moving towards an opening here, hopefully in fairly short order. They're working quickly. Chapel, is there anything new on that?
No, just, they're saying they're hoping by May, should be for sure, but, never count it out.
You always go with hope, right? Yeah.
What did you say about the top floor?
It's pretty well pre-leased.
Pre-leased?
Yeah, it's pretty well booked up. I think there's maybe still one unit available, and they're not, I don't know if
Yeah, I'd
this
say it's got
There's
one-
still time, Karen. There's still time.
it's not the one she wants.
That's
That one no longer.
very good.
Huh?
That's very good news.
Yeah, that's very good news. In the nature of other new businesses, I believe Councilor Morton, Councilor Lodge are aware of this. Oregon's Best, I believe, will be opening up shortly downtown.
Oregon's what?
Yep.
Best in Oregon.
That's in Oregon, my bad, that's in Oregon. We are also looking at an opening probably in March of Sojourn. They'll be relocating all their operations there. So that'll be the world headquarters for that location. And it is an expansive world operation, by the way. They are located in many countries, and so this really is the global center. So that's pretty exciting. And then the call center work, the demo of the facilities that is happening now. They're looking at it's like sometime in spring they should be open with an early 30 to 50 employees, and then expanding as quickly as they get new clients for their services. So I think that's happening as well. March 22nd should be a fun date, Sunday. It is the Cherry Pie Road Race. It's a certified road race for the Oregon Bike Racing Association. It'll be a 26-mile loop. There'll be between 1 and 3 laps and numerous various sub-events with that. So that is one of the, it's on the route or on the list of bike races in the state. So that's a new one, and that'll be in town. So that should bring some 500 bikers, we believe.
Yeah, it's an established race that has been racing out of their village, but they're going to start staging in Riverview Park and run the same route south of town. And it typically brings about 500 racers, plus, of course, kids and spouses and all the other people that come along with it.
So if you've never got to watch a bike race before, they're a whole lot of fun to watch. So and that's coming up here shortly. I've mentioned to you a couple of times about the Local Government Personnel Institute, what has been going on there. The Oregon City County Managers Association did meet in mass in Salem to discuss the matter. We're hoping it's not postmortem. It's gone from 8 FTEs to 2 at this point, and Super's been losing its executive director in a short order. But regardless, we're going to come back to the league board and ask that the managers have a bigger voice at the table, and they give some rebirth out of the ashes and try to get that thing operational. It means a lot to all of our cities. We are going to unfortunately be impacted pretty immediately through legal services that we've had to retain quite a bit of a markup since the LGPIA is no longer got the capacity at this point. So as quickly as we can restore those services and get that effort underway, we'll all be better off for it. So OCCMA will be asking the league and the Association of Oregon Counties to give us a little bigger voice and a little bigger say of what happens there, since frankly, the city manager's not the elected bodies of the state, of the clients or the customers for this operation, far more so than anybody else. So that's going to be important.
I want to let you know that David has been one of the key people in the state to help you take care of this issue and making sure that the concerns of, frankly, it's smaller and medium-sized cities that are most impacted by this, because the personnel services. Big places have in-house folks, and David, along with several other managers around the state, have taken a real lead in this, and I want to commend you publicly for that.
Thank you very much. They like my scrappy skills, I guess. So tomorrow is tomorrow at noon, come all, at the cinema, the mayor will be doing the State of the Cities along with Vermont's mayor. And a little bit different format this time, so it should be really interesting. If you haven't made a reservation, is it too late, Karen?
You can still show up, but no lunch,
No
probably.
lunch. Still a good show, even without food.
What's the different format?
You'll have to come and see.
You're going to have to come see it. It's a little bit of a secret. We're going to unveil it.
It'll be 50 words or less, something like
Not so much.
Are you making some sort of comment? Can I just get this? I can see this is going to be viral. We're going to be famous.
It won't be as much as the president's.
Thank goodness. Keep rolling, Mr. Klein. Save me.
The chamber had its retreat. One of the big focuses continues to be finances. It needs to be working very hard towards sustainability. We've surfaced a couple of ideas to try to help them along, but right now it is a bit of a struggle. So bottom line is an issue, continues to be. I think they're doing a lot of good work, but the finances are the finances, and it just needs to get in a little bit better shape. We have followed up on, you've had a couple of comments, I think, in the past about the restaurant Too Easy, their water situation. We have done a fair amount of work on that. We've offered the owner an opportunity to take a look at some of the metering results that we found. And it turns out we get some very detailed graphs about what is going on with water thanks to our radio read meters that we have in the community, which is by far the dominant type meter readers that we have. It gives us hourly information, just about the water. We've got some add anything else, but it gives us hourly information on, that was bad here, on what is going on with the water system. And it retains that information for at least 4 months. So we were able to isolate what the periods of the problematic periods were and what we believe the issues were. We weren't able to get permission to actually test the meters at this point, where I think we're pretty satisfied with the understanding of what was going on with that. So again, invited the owner to sit down and go over the results with us, and that was just sent out today, so hopefully the opportunity to do that. I don't think it's good as a So, interesting article in the Oregonian this past week. I thought it was just it just caught my attention. They were comparing the cost of gasoline as it was going down, and it's finally sort of obviously leveled out a little, but as it was going down to the cost of bottled water. And the Oregonian reported that, frankly, it was pretty close. It was something like $2.07 average cost for gasoline, and bottled water was going to $1.79 a gallon. I couldn't help myself. I had to go back and say, okay, so what does our water cost? Since we've had these discussions for quite a bit of late. And it turns out our water costs, instead of $1.79 per gallon for bottled water, turned out to be something under 1 cent a gallon, and deliveries included. So I thought that was really interesting, and we'll probably write a piece of papers, and it's like that for folks. You get a lot of water, you get a good product, it's potable, it meets federal testing requirements, different than bottled water does, and it's there at your tap. So on to the next item, River Place Apartments. I just had to do that one. River Place Apartments, they are continuing to move along at a very fast, but the units are filling up. They are hoping with, if they get the finance approved, to complete this August and have everything done and wrapped up at that location. We don't have a current schedule on our improvements, but that'll be part and parcel of the work that goes on there. So that's happening, going well. We mentioned the storm drain meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. in the city council. The final draft of the water master plan will be delivered next Monday, so we'll be coming to you, I'll be meeting with Mike and others to go over with the engineer what their results are. And then we will get that into you for probably a two-step approach. We'll hand it out to them, do a presentation, give you time to get back and think about it, and then come back and at some point ask for some kind of approval as an option. Correct? The recycled water plan, the water utility plan has gone to DEQ, and that also is scheduled for coming back to this council for review and a possible adoption sometime in the spring, perhaps May. So that's moving forward. You may recall that you had a sewer facilities plan some time ago. That's still in DEQ's hands in their review. They take a very long time, frankly, to get through those documents. They're pretty short-staffed, and that's a lot of dirt. So it takes that a while. So we don't have the final sewer facilities plan, but we're acting on the information that we have. That was a document that you already considered. We have several site design reviews pending. One, we're waiting on an application on transloading facilities. Anytime soon. That one is out at the former Oregon Alder site, that 30-acre plus or minus site out there that's developing a site for truck rail facility. It's a real significant industrial use for us. It comes with an $800,000 grant through ODOT. So it's a pretty exciting opportunity, and we're hoping to see that application, we're hoping to see more when it arrives. So that should be soon. We are expecting also site design review applications from Open Homes and from Astro Gas for some work over both their facilities, expanding their operations. So those are, they've had conversations with Mike and expect those to come soon. I'm moving along, so I don't know if you have questions.
Everybody's good? Keep rolling.
Okay. Parks Master Plan, I went through one round of, several rounds of public outreach already. I believe we have material posted online at this point. I was going to ask you.
No, the latest, they're having trouble with their MTP site, so I haven't been able to.
Okay, well, we will have that soon. Yeah. And you can see the materials that were down in the basement, basically, and along with the comments that were received. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll come back to the council. We have more outreach, community presentations, including the air parks specifically, and then on the schedule for council consideration, possible adoption in May or June. So that's moving along. So that's what I have at this part of the agenda.
I have one question, please. The meeting tomorrow night with the folks at the air park,
There's a here.
it's here? Okay, what time?
6 o'clock, we see the council chambers.
Okay, thank you.
Well, you have the next item as well.
Go ahead, please.
You ready for that?
Yes, please.
So in your packet, and pretty much per request, I left it here. Yeah, yeah. Pages 13 to 73. That is in essence in response to the request from the last meeting that a more expanded set of financials be provided for consideration. I'm not able to answer questions specific to any issues in any question, any particular items. If you do have questions, you can let me know. I will get back to you, or we can get with Gloria. But mostly this is here because it's really the question for you: is this what you want to see in the packets? We are intending on posting this online anyway in response to the question, in response to the request for more financial transparency. So this will be available on our website at least every quarter, and available for you and the public to peruse anyway. The question for you is if you actually want these in your packet. I'll leave it to you if that's what you want to see.
Thoughts?
I would prefer that we don't print all of this, send me a link, something's there, I'm good with that.
I agree that this is a lot of printing. However, I am very much in favor of transparency, and I would agree with Councilor Peck that if we had a link to where to go look at this online, and that link was made public, that would be very acceptable.
You okay? Everybody, Tom?
I was just wondering if, so then what the council would get would be an abbreviated highlights version in the packet. I guess the one thing I would request is if we could get that highlight version at the same time this is online, so that we can, if we wanted to dig in a little farther, we could do that at the same time. I think that's possible.
Yeah, I think what Gloria's intent is to continue to do, I believe, monthly summary reports. I think that's what she's going to do.
Well, this would be
Should
quarterly.
we do monthly or quarterly? I think
Quarterly.
It says quarterly on
it's
the
quarterly,
on
okay.
the
And
report.
it would be, yeah, it would coincide.
Yeah.
You would have the summary version in your packets. Probably you could just post that as well. I don't see why not. And it'll be posted certainly as part of the packet, but we may just see it certainly in the finance department. And then a detailed version would be online, so that if you wanted to.
And the detailed version would be online the same time that we get the packets.
That would be the intent. Laura's not here, you tell me. Laura's not here, smack me on the hand, tell me that can't be done,
But that was part of this, that was, yeah.
Just tell us that would be the intent. So, I think those quarterlies are done after we've reconciled all our checkbooks, whatever. So I think that's all time.
I think we're all in agreement. Greg, what's the link?
Okay.
Good. Okay.
Okay, with that, I'm going to let you have Kevin on the hundreds for looking at the Welcome Cities project, or a little explanation of the Welcome Cities project. Great. And I think we have PowerPoint or something that goes with it.
Okay. Good evening, Kevin.
Good evening.
Good to see you. Thank you.
See you. First of all, just thank you for allowing me to come up here. So the reason why I'm up here is because I'd like to suggest that the City of Independence become a welcoming city as part of a Welcoming America initiative, as you can see on the screen. So what Welcoming Cities and Counties initiative is, it's pretty much a nationwide collaborative where cities try to get together, network, I guess, use each other's information to create some sort of a understanding and more of a welcoming feel between foreign-born and U.S.-born Americans. So pretty much just more of a welcoming environment in terms of immigrants in our community. So as you can see, there's just a brief about the initiative, what it is. There's a list of cities within the nation that have taken part in this initiative. And yeah, I mean, I'd like to suggest that Independence become a welcoming city. It doesn't seem like the requirements are too much. For instance, one of the requirements is that we have a staff as a key contact person, and I assume as a community liaison that I would just take on that role. As well as there's like 3 phone calls, conference calls a year, 1 in-person meeting, which doesn't seem again like too much to ask for. A lot of the other stuff that it asks for in terms of just adopting policies that create that encourage community engagement between both immigrants and non-immigrants, native residents of the community. A lot of that is pretty much stuff that I'm kind of working on already here within this community. So it doesn't seem like it's too much of a big step, but I figured that it'd be something nice for the city of Independence to kind of take on.
This is a pretty august-looking group. And once again, I think we're going to represent the small but mighty.
Okay. Could we put something in our packet next time for, so we can look at the detail of this? Because I think that'd be helpful.
Yeah, we can get you whatever policies I think probably that we ask you to consider.
Right, you know, and put this together in a staff recommendation form. That'd be okay with everybody? Yeah, because I'd like to see what the deeds, what we're signing up for.
Is there any application in, Kevin? And then
Yeah, so it's pretty much a statement. I went ahead and contacted the lady a while back just to see what the process is like. It's pretty much just, it's a sheet where we fill out our information. We have either the city mayor or city manager, someone kind of sign off saying, yes, the city of Independence agrees. And we start from there.
Would you like us to also have the round table, get a look at this as well? That on behalf of the council?
I don't think that there's any harm in that. Let,
The Latino round table, let them kind of also review and vet this.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I can go ahead and present it towards the end.
yeah, because I think we'd all be interested in knowing, frankly, what the detail is and what the commitments are.
Mhm.
Okay. Is there any other general questions that I might answer?
I really appreciate the notes that you've created and share out with the members of the community. While I'm not able to, because of my employment, be able to join your meetings, I do read the notes, and I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to move promptly forward. We have nothing under unfinished business. We're going to go to new business. We're going to open a public hearing on OLCC renewals. I think Sergeant Gilbert, I believe, is carrying this tonight.
Yep.
Good evening, Sergeant. Nice to see you this evening.
Good evening, Mayor, City Councilors. In your package, you'll find a copy of my report regarding the annual liquor license renewals for all businesses and independents which are currently licensed as alcohol. Each year, the Oregon Liquor Control Commission provides the City of Independence with a list of all establishments within the city who have requested renewal of their liquor licenses, and the city has up to 60 days to to make a recommendation on any licenses, and cannot make no recommendation. All establishments are eligible for annual renewal and payment of applicable city renewal fees after approved by the city council. The list of establishments are in your packet. This is every business and independence that currently sell alcohol. Oregon Revised Statute, ORS 471-166, establishes the process for local governments to make recommendations of LCC for approval or denial of the LCC license applications and subsequent renewals. As part of this process, the police department review all initial and renewal applications to ensure compliance with the applicable regulations, which is what I've done. Independent City Council Resolution number 1981 for 42 established guidelines for making liquor license recommendations and allowing for public comment. So my review went through all of the, had a record staff pull up all the police reports involving any business and independence that had, where we had a police response for an incident related to alcohol sales. Those are all highlighted in your packets, so I'm not going to read through those. But I am happy to say that I went and pulled last year's numbers earlier tonight, and last year we had 20 police calls for service regarding businesses and alcohol sales, some nexus with that business. This year we had 7, so we've halved it. And I think a big part of that is the partnerships with the city of Independence and the police department and those businesses, and their willingness to give us a call ahead of time before something is out of control. And even of those, a lot of the calls where we responded were simply calls of the business owner saying, this guy needs to be Roscoe, maybe he's not thinking. We cut him off because we realized he's had too much. So the business owner doing their part, we're trying to do our part, and you can see here that it's really come a long way just in the last year. With that, I don't know, I have to ask Karen, but I don't know if all the businesses have paid their fees. I don't believe that any of them are paying their fees until after the council approves the correct.
Fees have started to trickle in, but we have not received all of them.
Usually we approve a conditional upon paying the fee.
Right. So I'll just move the options. The options the city council have are recommend approval of the licenses upon receipt as the city license fees. Then a license of a new establishment with reasonable grounds to be established, or council could propose an option of its own choosing. Based on the research that I've done, I would recommend option 1, us to move forward with approval of all liquor licenses
Are there questions for the presenter? Please.
I wanted to commend the police department because looking through this, I see that there was only one business that had to go back and you had to contact them about over-serving somebody. I remember a time when this report, 4 pages of this was all on one location.
Yeah, I remember that too.
And
Trust me, it's not as exciting around here on nights.
no, but
But it makes this part a lot easier, I'll tell you that.
you're doing a phenomenal job, and the word you use, partnership, means that you're working with businesses instead of just being the punitive force.
Absolutely. And their willingness to is
And I do really make a motion.
But I saw the public hearing going on, so I have to, are there additional questions for the speaker at this point? Thank you for that. Is there anybody else? I'm going to open, or I've already opened public hearing. Does anybody have anything to say about the liquor license renewals? I see no one moving towards the microphone, so without objection, I'm going to close the public hearing. Public hearing is not closed. Now go ahead and make your motion.
I move to approve the licenses as stated within the packet upon receipt of license fees.
Second.
I have a motion, a second by Diana. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much. Mr. Irvine, I think you're the next person authorizing an Oregon Parks and Recreation grant, pages 83 and 86.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We've done this a few times in the past. If we're going to apply for a grant from the State of Oregon Parks and Recreation Department, they would like to have a resolution from the governing body of the applicants to go along with the application, just to make sure that they actually do agree and want to do the grant and the proposal that is submitted. So what I'm requesting is a resolution from the council to apply for a local government grant for the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department for the Independence Sports Park. This would be really, I believe I stand in the staff report, it's probably about a $300,000 ask. We don't have it totally dialed in yet. It's going to depend largely on what the appraisal comes back on for the property that the ball field will go on, because we will be using that property as matching funds for the grant. Parks and Rec allows applicants to use purchased property or donated property that has been so within the last 6 years. We're getting the end of that line, and so it's kind of getting towards the usually a little bit time, but we believe we can get a pretty substantial grant from the state to help finish up that ball field complex without really having to expend any additional city funds towards it.
Do we get to count any of the work by the National Guard and others into that?
Not by the National Guard, there is some pre-agreement development costs, surveying and engineering and that type of thing.
Thank you. I think I got somebody else. I'll go ahead.
You said to finish up the project, what does that mean? What activities will we do?
Well, basically, we're trying to build as many of the ball fields that we could within the budget that we can get. We're working with the apartment developer, IME Construction, to try to utilize some of their park system development charges as well on the ball field site. So that's where we're still trying to figure out exactly what piece fits where. But this would be the idea. In a perfect world, would be this would be the final piece of the ball fields that Mr. Ivan starts. Can't say for sure, we don't have numbers figured out yet as far as how far he's going to be able to get and whether we can get across the finish line, but this would definitely get us, at least a couple more fields.
So it'll be ready to use.
Yeah. Although this grant, I should say, we put this grant due in April, you get the official go-ahead in August or September, so really we wouldn't actually be expending the money and building the fields until probably spring of next year. It's just the way their funding cycle works, unfortunately.
So the SDCs would also be considered part of the city's contribution?
I'll have to look into that. Typically, they talk about sort of the design and engineering, because they recognize there's a certain amount of work that has to go into. They like to see the famous shovel-ready projects, and they recognize there's quite a bit of money that has to go into getting projects to that point. And so this is kind of their effort to allow cities to essentially recoup some of those costs. And so I believe we may be able to count. I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Any additional questions? Seems like a good move on our part.
And Mr. Ivanhoe, it's going to be paving the roads all the way to the ballparks?
Yeah, that is planned. It's, you're waiting for a Sunday or one of the two.
For soil.
Yeah.
So that makes it pretty shovel-ready, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why now really is a good time, because with the access, with the boat ramp in, the access road there, especially if it's getting paved, it's all rolling.
Mr. Klein?
Well, Mr. Ivanhoff will need to come back and pave on his own projects as well, so I'm assuming without talking to Mike that, he'll only want to mobilize at one time and do it all at once. So,
It's coordinated. If
So
somebody
you don't know exactly when?
one month.
additional questions?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
We got to hurry before the year's up.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, do you have any more questions?
No, we're looking to you. As a council president.
Let's see, I guess it's the resolution.
Yes, please.
I move to approve resolution number 15-1400.
I have a motion to second. Is there further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much. Mr. Klein, you have the next one. And I think this is adopting the fraud policy, and I think this is the final version of what we've discussed in previous council meetings.
This was prepared from a format provided by our auditors. Both all staff and the city attorney have reviewed this document, and what you have in front of you is sort of the results of that. This is an accompaniment to our financial policies, not necessarily a component of those policies, but they will pretty much go hand in hand. One provides for good behavior, the other provides consequences for bad behavior. So that's
So as we discussed, since we've discussed this before and looked at this, are there additional questions? Everybody's okay? Everybody's happy? Would you like to move vote?
I'll make a motion. Move to adopt resolution 15-1401, adopting broad policy as presented by staff contained in the agenda package.
Second.
I have a motion and a second by Nancy. Is discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much. The next one.
The next one is the changes to the sewer utility ordinance that we talked about at the last meeting. This essentially eliminates the ability to disconnect on paper your sewer utility, which you can't really physically do anyway. So it removes the cost of it associated with the reconnection fee, but it also requires that the standby basic charges continue to be charged for that utility. So that's the changes that we had made in accordance with your request last time. It results in about several changes that you can see in the red line version to the actual code itself. We're presenting it to you for emergency adoption. That you don't need to do that, but it allows it to go into effect more quickly. And I think that's sort of the intent with these changes.
Additional questions for staff? It seems to reflect what we discussed at our last meeting.
You have to, well, not specifically for this, I think this is a good idea to do this. But didn't I also understand that we will be doing a full review of our water fees again, later this year, is that correct? Or-
Well, we've actually started that conversation with Ray. We're going to start that conversation with Ray, and then we're going to have to reschedule that for about a week, I think. We'll get it going here shortly. We're getting that rate review started. We're doing that, as I mentioned before, we want to put together our 5-year capital plan as well, because that's part and parcel of doing the rate studies, understanding what those outlays need to be. So that all goes together hand in glove, so to speak. So we'll have to work on that here shortly.
Any additional questions related to this? This is an ordinance, so we need to go through the 3-step process. If someone would care to begin.
Certainly. I move to read the proposed ordinance, Council Bill 2015-02, in full as the text is contained in the council packet for the first time.
I have a motion, second, discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries.
An ordinance amending Independence Municipal Code, Chapter 34, Utilities, Article 4, Sewer Service Use Regulations, Section 34-312, and declaring an emergency.
So the next one, please, Diana.
I move to read the proposed ordinance, Council Bill 2015-02, for the second time by title only.
Motion, second, discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much.
An ordinance amending Independence Municipal Code, Chapter 34, Utilities, Article 4, Sewer Service Use Regulations, Section 34-312, and declaring an emergency.
Okay? Please.
I move to adopt the proposed ordinance, Council Bill number 2015-02.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Is there discussion? I just want to say that I really appreciated that the staff were able to move promptly after we made had a discussion, decision, and they got it in front of us promptly. I really appreciated that. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much.
The bill is passed and will be assigned ordinance number 1539.
Okay, what I'd like to do here is, before we go to executive session, are there council announcements that need to be made? I do anticipate that after the executive session, we will come back and we may have action items afterwards. So I just want to let TV know that. Does everybody have council announcements to make at this point? Please
I
do.
have an announcement that Friends of the Independence Public Library is having its annual movie fundraiser. The movie will be Patch Adams, starring Robin Williams, it's kind of an homage to Robin. It's Monday, March 9th, at 7 o'clock, and the tickets are $15. And for that $15, you get to see the movie, you get free popcorn, you get tons of door prizes. Everybody knows Betty gets lots of door prizes. And you will contribute 100% of your $50 goes to Friends of the Library to support all the wonderful things. the library does. So I just happen to have some tickets. So if anybody, before they leave, wants to buy a couple of tickets, I'll be here.
Could you give me the time?
Otherwise, they're available, I hope at the library, right? Yeah, I think we have some available.
What was the time?
It was 7 PM on Monday, March the 9th.
7 p.m.
At our cinema. Their very, very generous nature have donated an entire theater area for Friends of the Library, which is really, and all we do is just pay a license fee, so really nice.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Other council announcements? Okay, let me read the required statements, please. The Independent City Council will now meet in executive session for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel concerning legal rights and duties regarding current or litigation likely to be filed. The executive session held pursuant to ORS 1292660-2H. Immediately following the city council meeting executive session for the purpose of negotiating real property transactions pursuant to ORS 1926602E. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to say the general subject of the session is previously announced. No decision will be made in the executive session. At this time, the council will adjourn the conference room for the duration of both executive sessions. Once both executive sessions have been adjourned, we'll return to open session in the council chambers. Any decision from either executive session will be deliberated at this time. Okay, let's turn this into a short 5-minute, and end up in the conference room in about 5 or 6 minutes, please.
We have 5 minutes to get to
Are you prepared, Karen?
Hold on.
Ready? Okay, we're back in, from executive session. I think we have a couple of motions to make. And Karen, do you have the correct wording on the first motion, please?
The first motion is,
Or if somebody has it?
actually,
We're talking William Street property?
Yes, please.
So it's I move to direct staff to purchase the adjacent vacant land parcel from 480 William Street from Valley and Selects Railroad LLC in an amount not to exceed $20,000 plus transaction costs, and to authorize the city manager to execute all necessary documents to complete the transaction.
If I could have some.
So
I have a motion from Tom. I have a second from Nancy. Is there further discussion on this matter? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Thank you. And I think we have the next motion, please.
yes. That the city council moves to reject the offer that Ms. Cresser made via email this evening, direct the city attorney to proceed with foreclosure on the trustee
So moved.
I have
On the
a
top.
motion.
240
on the property located at 240 Marcus Street.
Formerly City Hall.
All right, and I think I have a motion from Marilyn, and Diana is second. Is there discussion on this matter? I hear no discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries. Motion to adjourn from someone? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening.